Fund Indie Films. We are talking with Kyle Dekker about his web series currently being funded on Kickstarter, Fang and Talon. All right, Kyle, would you like to talk about Fang and Talon and what it's about?
Sure. Fang and Talon is going to be a fantasy comedy web series. Basically, what we've done is we've created a world that wouldn't be too unfamiliar to anyone who's played Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder or Castles or Crusades or any games of that nature, even some of your older AD&D books, games like that back in the late 70s, early 80s. Myself, the director, Jacob, fight coordinator, Matt Savage, and one of our lead actors, we're all been avid gamers along with being filmmakers and writers and students and everything. And we always want to do a project that kind of, put something in that world. Today's media, we've got, the Hobbit movie coming out. We all have seen Lord of the Rings. So this is definitely a lower budget version of this, but those of you who, when you check the Kickstarter out, we put together a pretty good quality video, and we did that for less than $500. So, our goal on Kickstarter is to raise $5,000, and some of the highlights you'll see is all our shots are going to be filmed on location. We're based out of Minnesota. I live in St. Paul. The director, Jacob, lives in Minneapolis. And right here in the Twin Cities, within an hour drive, we have a bunch of beautiful state parks. So we plan to film and kind of show the beauty of our state, and at the same time create a really cool, almost foreign-looking world where we put our main three characters. So the main three characters are Vance, Wallace, and Selvig, and they form a mercenary company called Fang and Talon, hence the name of the title. And they're they're mercenaries. They're thrown in the middle of this land that has basically these 8 feuding lords that are all vying for power and dominance over the region. So they have various clandestine jobs, typically for mercenaries to do their dirty work. And Vance and Selvig and Wallace are trying to make a little coin while working for these lords. And along the way, they're going to run into, guards, which you saw in the trailer. We're also planning on putting some magical creatures like pixies and orcs and ogres. You'll see a lot of cool stuff. We got some cool makeup people behind this. We're really going to pull this off if we get the funding, of course. And so, it'll be a very familiar world. There's going to be some, it'll be a comedy, so there'll be some jokes. You saw some of the physical comedy from Tom Lockman, who's playing Selvig the Wizard in the trailer. He's a phenomenal physical actor. He's actually quite funny once we have a camera and sound. We didn't have sound for the trailer, hence the pretty nice music, which is by a local musician. It's another cool thing we'll be hiring a local composer to compose a complete original score for the series. And so we're keeping this a fairly uniquely Minnesotan production. The vast majority of the people behind the scenes on this are graduates from Minneapolis College of Art and Design. You'll know some of the graphic effects and everything. We've got a really sweet animator, graphics designer on our team right now. My director, Jacob, called me today. He's got someone locked down as an exceptional sound engineer who's going to be working with us. So we got a lot of super talented people that either went to art school or film school. So we've got a ton of training and education behind this program. The only thing we do, the main thing we all have in common is we're all starting out. And so this is kind of like a project where, like, hey, we're all recently out of college. We're all young. We have no budget, no connections to the industry. Let's do something together. We're going to need help from Kickstarter and the internet and our friends and all. And that's what we've got so far. And if you saw the trailer, which I think I'm very proud of, there's some things we need to improve on it, but we did that in about 2 afternoons of shooting, virtually no budget. So, you give us $5,000 and 6 weeks to shoot, we're going to make something that's really awesome. And the final product, we're aiming for 10-minute episodes, so the final product will be about the length of a feature film. So it'll be broken down into a web series, but it'll be a feature film. And Jacob, the director, and I are working. We've each written several scripts. We've collaborated on a couple scripts. So the scripts are almost completely written by now. Most of our characters have been cast as far as tertiary characters that you didn't see in the trailer. Will be seen, and a lot of them are great veterans of stage and short film here in the Twin Cities. Twin Cities has a very thriving art culture. There's this really cool festival right now in Minneapolis called the Fringe Festival, and it's just a whole bunch of really kind of avant-garde shows going on in all these small, really awesome theaters we have here in the Twin Cities. And we have several people who are going to be working with us currently in productions themselves. They're either directing, starring, writing, that are all going to help us. So we have tons of talent involved in this project. It is lower budget, but the amount of talent is just going to maximize every dollar, and we're going to make a pretty awesome product for people to enjoy.
Oh, very cool. So it sounds like you know, not only does it sound like it'll be a pretty cool story, but you'll have shoot, fly around here that's buzzing in that got in somehow. Yeah, so it sounds like not only do you have, you know, kind of a cool setting that'll be really fun for any sorts of gamers or, you know, fantasy type folk, but also your team, it seems to be, you know, you've got a lot of talent behind it, and really you just need to be given the chance, you know, and the Kickstarter will help you have the resources to kind of put the talent to work on what you need.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is definitely a team effort. Lots of people are volunteering their time to help us out. Almost all the costumes you saw in the trailer were actually done by my wife, Amy. She got her MFA from MCAD a couple of years ago, so she's, not only is she a great sewer, but she's done sculptures and everything. Is another part of the MCAD family. So MCAD is a really awesome school. I personally didn't go there. I helped my wife get through there, but if you've ever been to the campus, it's attached right next to the Minneapolis Institute of Arts. It's just a really cool campus, lots of highly qualified instructors that really, it's a school where you just learn skills to make film or make art and et cetera. And we're incredibly lucky to have a bunch of these people behind us. I mean, it's the amount of talent and dedication that comes from your typical MCAD graduate is just phenomenal. And I just count myself lucky that they let me attach on this project, because I'm hardworking, I'm pretty smart, but I don't know the first thing about making a film. As far as this is kind of an exploration for me, but the people that are experts, I'm learning so much on a daily basis that it's basically like going to like a boot camp film school for me, which is really cool because, you know, I'm trying to get the word out and get people to help out, and I'm doing a little writing. But, I mean, the amount of work and talent going behind it, the actual filmmakers in this is amazing. It's like every day I learn something new about making a film, and I just have more and more respect for what they do. But, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt, but you know, one of, I think, in a lot of ways, the best way to, you know, learn how to, you know, do filmmaking and all that. I mean, you know, you know, having gone through a program or whatnot on it, you know, certainly helps. But, you know, there are a lot of people who are kind of self-taught, and I guess this is kind of your trial by fire moment, as far as you know, making it and like just doing stuff kind of helps you learn it. Like you know, when I was shooting my web series, you know, a lot of the time, you know, things were new, but, you know, the more you did it, the easier it got, and you know, by the end of it, you know, I could, you know, I knew my camera stuff like that, you know, I knew, you know, lighting stuff and all that, and so it's kind of cool that, you know, even if you don't have, you know, the exact training on it, you're getting a chance to you know, learn it, you know, through doing.
Absolutely. I mean, that's like I said, I learn something new every day from a bunch of super talented folks, and it's really, to me, an honor to work with some of these people, actually to all these people, because it's just to see the amount of talent and people coming from different fields and different backgrounds is really making this a really cohesive team where we all our strengths are enhanced by each other, and our weaknesses, any that we have, are bolstered by each other's strengths, and it's really cool. And it's a project like this, I mean, it's small in budget, but the scale is large. I mean, some of the locations we're looking at, we're talking about, you know, 40-plus acre state parks with huge rock formations, glacial potholes, and all kinds of really cool stuff. And, you know, it's going to look awesome when it's done. You know, the whole thing's going to be filmed HD. You know, Jacob, the director, is also a tremendous editor. He edited the entire trailer teaser video that we saw as well. So I mean, we have the people in place. But the cool thing about Kickstarter, so we're asking for your money to help us get it made, because none of us are, most of us are, within the last 2 years out of college, and so we're all, just kind of getting started. But we're making sure people get the most, kind of bang for their buck to back us on Kickstarter. I mean, for just $5, we're going to put, a big thank you. All our Kickstarter backers of $5 or more will see their name in the credits. It'll be really cool.
Very cool.
A lot of places you don't get that for that much. And we have some cool, like I said, it's a fantasy comedy. It's very much inspired by the tabletop RPGs of past and present. So we got a lot of gamer-friendly rewards. One of them, I've got the prototype right here, is if you're a longtime gamer, you'll be familiar with this. This is a bag you keep all your polyhedral gaming dice in. And this one is actually made, you'll notice some of the colors, these are actually fabric scraps from the costumes you saw in the teaser trailer. So, and I mean, once we really get going, there will be shots that are going to have 20-plus actors in it. And so we're going to have lots of fabric scraps. So, I mean, we didn't put a limit on it because we'll be able to make as many bags as possible. They got a cool leather drawstring. They can hold a whole bunch. I've been gaming for 24 years. This holds 24 years worth of dice, basically. So, I mean, you'd have to be a especially zealous dice hound to not be able to fit all your dice. And then that's just the prototype. The final product will actually even have the Fang and Talon official logo screen printed right on the back. So, I mean, you get that just for $35, along with the download of the full season when it's done. Another really cool specialty program, Trollord Games, which is the publisher of Castles and Crusades, which is a really cool sword and sorcery RPG system. It's kind of rules light, very story-driven game setting. The president and that company has given us permission to write an adventure module. So you're old school, or you're a dungeon master, we get a little, today we're going to play this dungeon and everything. We're going to write a module set in the world that our web series is created in. Mm-hmm. With all the characters, you'll see stats for all the characters. You'll have maps of some of the locations and everything. So for $50, you can get this module, and you'll be able to play Castles and Crusades, or Castles and Crusades is a really cool system. You can actually even adapt older or even newer game systems to it. You'll be able to play a role-playing game right in the world we create in the web series. So, I mean, those are two very unique kind of gamer-friendly rewards, along with we're doing a lot of the stuff you'll typically see, like we'll do a DVD with a whole bunch of bonus features, and myself, the director, and probably some other of the cast will sign it. We're going to have all the scripts that we're taking notes and everything in, we're saving those, and we'll be giving those out to people. We're giving away producer credits, and then even a higher up for, if you've got the dough, for $1,000, you can name a character in the series. Either we'll name it after you, or if you want to, one of your favorite role-playing game characters of past from a campaign, we'll name a character after them for you, your choice. And even if you fund our whole thing for $5,000, we'll bring you out here, put you up in my house, and we'll put you in costume and give you some lines in front of the camera and put you in an episode. So, I mean, we've got a lot for any budget, but I mean, as little as $5, we'll put your name in the credits, and we'll be putting a behind-the-scenes YouTube channel that's a private invite only, that through production, we're going to put our behind-the-scenes videos on. So every time we have fight choreography practice with a bunch of the actors, or outtakes, we'll show people making costumes, everything. It's all going to go on that private YouTube channel, and anyone who backs us for even $1 will get access to that. We'll go through, we'll ask each one, what email would you want permission, then they'll be able to watch that private YouTube channel and see the making of the series unfold before their eyes. So it's going to be if you back us even for $1, you're going to see, your money go to work right away, because you'll be able to watch the entire production process on YouTube before even the first episode comes out.
So, wow, that's actually a pretty impressive, set of Kickstarter rewards. With a lot of web series that you see, it's kind of like, $50 you get the DVD, and at various levels there's like a download, and at some point there's producer credits, but it seems like, especially with your you've been able to kind of tie in the whole, it being a series for gamers, and into actually having some very cool rewards that are really designed for the people you're targeting.
Well, absolutely, and we as a team, we wanted really unique, creative rewards. Because we know times are tough. It's not exactly the best economy to be funding independent film right now. So if people are going to back us, we want to make it worth their money. I mean, we're going to make them a great product. You could argue for $5 to be able to watch a web series on YouTube whenever you want. It's worth the price of admission alone. But we wanted to give people more than that. I mean, because you know, believe me when I understand times are tough. So if you give us, I mean, you're going to maximize your dollars with the awards we give you, and it's really cool. And it's, you know, we've already had a lot of response. One of the awards we have, I didn't mention, that does have a cap on it, is all the concept art, all the sketches of character costumes, maps of the world, and everything like that. Coat of arms for the various lords we've been working on. By not me, I can't draw at all, but we have a lot of super talented artists that are helping us with this stuff. We're going to be giving away original pieces of concept art for just $30 for backing us. We've already had 6 or 7 people jump on that option, and those are limited because we only are going to produce so many pieces of concept art. So I mean, you're going to have a chance to get plenty of awesome stuff, and we're giving away props. Many of our on-screen use props for people that donate $200 more we'll give away. So if you really like that really awesome wand that Selvig the Wizard uses, $200, so probably it could be yours once we're done with filming, and we'll certify it and everything. We'll take a picture next to it on set, and we'll send it to you with all your other stuff. And it's really awesome. I mean, it's the amount of, we came as a team several good awards, and we just, you know, the day before we launched our Kickstarter, I think we added 3 more on top of what we had. We kept thinking, it was like, what can we give people for helping us out? Because we really want to make this, you know, anyone who helps us to really be excited, not only about the product we're releasing, but the stuff they're going to get in exchange.
Hey, that's, you know, one of the biggest things that you can do as a campaign is to really make it worth people's time to back the project and show that you put a lot of care into that, and that you're thinking, hey, support us because we're thinking of you. And yeah, so I also didn't comment on this earlier, but I really like how you're shooting on locations, because especially with lower budget productions, when you're trying to build like entire sets yourself, there's kind of a limit to what you can do. But if you can find places that are already perfect, you can kind of capture that epic feeling, without having to spend 20, 30 more millions on it.
Well,
you can get it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's part of the motivation for, living in Minnesota is what presented, or in the Twin Cities specifically, gave us this opportunity to do this. Is the city itself has this just wealth of actors and just people who really know how to make film and art already. That's core base of the team we're pulling from. And then just, like you said, at least one of the locations we saw in the teaser trailer is actually Battle Creek State Park, which is right in the city limits of St. Paul. It's like where I'm currently sitting right now, I can get there in a 10-minute drive. So we're just it's a unique metropolitan area. It's just surrounded by all this natural beauty, and it is a huge resource for us to give us these awesome locales to shoot at. And we've even found ones that are, these great rock formations and everything just an hour north of us in Taylor Falls, Minnesota. So, the state and this region itself with the rivers and all the stuff, back in the Ice Age when the glaciers kind of shaped this area, it's made a really beautiful area that's going to allow us to make an awesome location shoot. We could have done a post-apocalyptic, thing and abandoned warehouses and all, but we want to do something that's really, the fantasy genre is really appealing to us. Is actually Max and Jacob and Tom. So you saw Max, Tom, and I on screen, and then Jacob is behind the camera. We actually all play in a weekly role-playing game. We meet at my house once a week. We play role-playing games and everything. So when we say this is for gamers, we really mean it because we are gamers ourselves. So I have my collection of books back here for all to see. It's something that's really cool, and gamers and movie fans in general can sometimes be hypercritical about genre things in the genre. If you make a bad gaming book, they're going to let you know. There's a bad fantasy movie. If you make Conan the Destroyer, people are going to let you know you made Conan the Destroyer. So, I mean, like I said, we're not going to have that kind of budget, but for the budget, we're going to make something that, like, not fans of good web series and fantasy in general are just going to enjoy. So it doesn't even have to be gamers, but that's definitely part of the audience we're going after.
Well, one of the things I've been really excited about for a while is that you're kind of starting to touch on there is that it used to be you had to have a big studio backing behind you in order to make anything that was halfway decent looking, and that in the past 5-10 years it's really kind of changed so that people like you and I can make stuff, and it can be very well made, and at the same time you can be telling the story the way that as a person who is part of the given culture that you're writing about. You're writing something by gamers for gamers, and my writing is very much by geeks for geeks. And like whenever I see like hacking or programming or any of that kind of stuff in that stupid fly, really annoying. Anyway, anytime I see like any sort of programming, computery type stuff in a lot of big productions, it's always like that's not how it is. That's not how we talk. That's not how we think. And so that being able to write that as somebody who's deeply part of the culture, you know when you get it right. You know when you've written something that people are going to enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, and we want it to resonate with people and seem genuine. And I really, me personally, this is just Kyle, the producer speaking, is I want when people watch our final product, when they're watching an episode of Fang and Talon and they're a gamer, I want to see a moment happen. They're like, oh man, I remember when my wizard did that, or I remember we had an event almost exactly like that when we played Dungeons and Dragons back in 1995 or whatever. I want people to have that moment. I really want them to connect with that. I want them, it's like, so yeah, if this is exactly how I imagine our characters, trouncing through the world, going from mission to mission, making some coin, killing some monsters, etc. And that's what's really exciting for me is I mean, there's not necessarily a whole lot of gamer specific, and when I say gamer, I don't mean video gamer. They somehow snatch that title from us original gamers away from us, which is fine. As gamers, nerds are nerds, we kind of got to unite. But when I say gamer, I really mean the kind of classic RPG, tabletop gamers. And there's not a whole lot of, multimedia product. There's plenty of games. I mean, there's lots of, when Wizards of the Coast did the open gaming license back when they released 3rd edition, and allowed a lot of the small publishers to publish material using that kind of basic rule system. It really opened the floodgates for a lot of print material and games to be available to us. But there's never been tons of multimedia video and television series. There's Dead Gentleman Productions. Now there's Zombie Orpheus Entertainment, who made the great Gamers and Gamers 2 movies and the Journey Quest web series. I mean, they do a really excellent job with what they do with their product, and that's one of the best examples in the kind of genre we're joining. They're almost the only example. And I think with enough talented people and enough help, that genre could really grow, because I think there's an audience for it. And gamers, they want to see more stuff. When I watch an episode of Journey Quest, or when I got done with the first season, I'm like, man, I want to watch another one. There was nothing else out there even close to that quality. So we're hoping to, once you go through the first 2 seasons of Journey Quest, you'll hop over to Fang and Talon and go, oh, this is great, I want more, I want more. So we're really we're picking, if those guys showed how viable that this kind of genre could be, because they keep having success and making phenomenal products, that's what really, when Jacob approached me with wanting to do a project, I said, well, we totally can do this, because we've seen someone else was the trailblazer. Luckily, now we can follow in their footsteps and make something hopefully is almost as good as what they make, and if we luck out, maybe a little bit better. So you never know. Like they do great work. I'm really hoping we can kind of join in on that genre of the fantasy comedy for gamers stuff, because that would be awesome.
Yeah, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing what you make, and you know, it looks pretty good from what you've shot so far.
Absolutely, and like I said, that was done with very little budget. So if we can get our funding, and I do want to mention I'll do one last plug here, because we do have a lot of stretch goals. For our goal is 5,000, we'll definitely be able to make if we hit 5,000, the series is happening no matter what. If we hit 6,000, all those backers who chose to get the signed DVD reward will get the option to upgrade to Blu-ray for free, because we'll be able to buy the Blu-ray burner and everything like that. We hit $7,500. That Castles and Crusades Adventure module I talked about. Right now, it's going to just be a PDF electronic book version. If we hit $7,500, Troller Games agreed to print it for us for free, and so you'll get a print copy of the module in full color with classic gaming artwork and everything, you know, sent to you along with the digital copy. And if people come out and we hit 10,000, which would just make my day, everyone who gives at the DVD level or more will get custom-made Fang and Talon T-shirts to send all those people. So I mean, if we make more than our goal, we're going to give more. You know, it's just not and I'm sure as things will come up, we've talked. There's going to be other things that come up. We're going to add for backers even for lower levels, as long as we keep consistently hitting our goals. Right now, we're a bit ahead of our pace where we want to be, because we've had some super generous, awesome people already back us this early, which is phenomenal. And we just got to keep up this pace. If we keep up the pace we're at, we're going to hit that 7,500 and maybe even more. So, I mean, if people keep going at the rate they're going, not only are we going to make the series made, we're going to get even better stuff out there. And we can make more than our goal. We're going to be able to buy that next step up microphone and sound editing equipment, and et cetera, we need to even make it better. So, you know, the $5,000 gets the project made. You're going to start seeing episodes by the end of the year, because our schedule, if we get it funded, we're going to start filming in September into October, and then the editing process will start. So we plan to see the first episodes, you know, before the end of the year. So there's a lot. We're going to bust this out. I mean, this is a highly dedicated project, so there's not going to be waiting 10 months for the final project. We get funded. From when we get funded, you're probably going to see the first episode go up to within 3 to 4 months or less of us getting funded, which is really cool, because then the only problem, the only problem sometimes with Kickstarter is you fund something that's successful, you almost forget you backed it until a year later. You know, the project comes out. Oh yeah, I remember I backed this, and then you get yourself in your mail and you're excited, but you almost forget about it. So we're hoping, I mean, not only make a good project, but almost give people, as far as in the web series filmmaking media, almost near immediate satisfaction as far as the timing of these things go.
Yeah, very cool. Thank you for talking with me, Kyle. Please back his web series, Fang and Talon. It looks pretty exciting, and if you're a gamer, this is for you.
Yep. And also check out our Twitter and Facebook. We're very active on there. I'm on there all the time. If you got any questions or anything, check us out either at Fang Talon Series on Twitter, or just search Facebook, www.facebook/Fang and Talon. I'm on there a lot. Ask us any questions. If you're not sure you want to give us money yet, and you want to, you know, know more about it, you'll get an answer within a day from me, usually within an hour. So get on there. We're very active on those two locations. We'll answer your questions, and you can get to know us, no problem.
All right. Taylor.
Thank you.